What if I told you that everything you believe about your life, your success, your potential, is about to be burned upside down? In just 40 minutes, your mindset will undergo a transformation so profound it will rewrite the story of your future. Because the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the way you think. By the end of this, your mindset will never be the same. Thought is the master key that unlocks the door to every success you have ever imagined. It is the invisible force shaping your reality, the silent architect building the life you live. Every achievement, every failure, every moment of joy or despair begins as a thought. Napoleon Hill, who spent a lifetime studying the world's most successful men, declared with unwavering certainty that what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This is no empty platitude. It is a law as natural and unyielding as gravity. Consider this. Your mind is like fertile soil, and your thoughts are the seeds you plant. If you sow seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, your harvest will be the bitter fruits of disappointment and regret. But if you plant seeds of faith, purpose, and determination, your mind will grow a lush garden of opportunity and success. The question is, what seeds have you been planting? And more importantly, are you willing to uproot the weeds that choke your growth? There is a story of a man named Charles, who for years believed he was destined to live a mediocre life. His thoughts were filled with "I can't," "it's impossible," and "I'm not good enough." This mindset was a cage of his own making. One day, after hitting rock bottom, Charles decided to try something radical. He began to monitor every thought, every inner conversation. When a negative thought appeared, he challenged it with a new one. "I am capable. I can learn. I deserve success." At first, this felt unnatural, but the more he practiced, the more his mind shifted. Within months, opportunities began to appear. Doors that once seemed closed opened just a crack. That crack widened with each new positive thought, until Charles was living proof that the mind's power is limitless. This transformation was not magic. It was a deliberate, relentless training of his mind. Psychologically, what happens when you feed your mind with positive, empowering thought? Your brain rewires itself. Neuroscience shows that repeated thoughts create neural pathways, like grooves in a riverbed. The more you travel those grooves, the easier it is to follow that path. This is called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to change and adapt. You are literally reshaping your brain with every thought you entertain. But here's the critical catch. Your mind is always working. Even when you're not aware, it listens to your self-talk, your beliefs, your expectations. It never sleeps. So if you allow negative thoughts to dominate, you are training your brain for failure and disappointment. The mind cannot tell the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. So if you imagine success with feeling and conviction, your subconscious begins to accept it as truth and steers your actions accordingly. This is why Napoleon Hill urged the practice of affirmations and visualization, not as mere rituals, but as powerful tools to reprogram your subconscious. The subconscious is a faithful servant. It obeys the dominant thoughts you feed it. When your conscious mind sets a clear, positive intention, your subconscious mobilizes everything in your power to make it a reality. So what does this mean for you right now? It means that your present condition is a direct reflection of your past dominant thoughts, and your future condition depends on the thoughts you choose from this moment forward. You hold the master key in your mind. Will you use it to unlock the door to your dream, or will you leave it unused, locked away, letting doubt and fear keep you prisoner? Remember, your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. Choose them wisely. Guard them fiercely, because mastery of your mind is the first and greatest step toward mastering your life. Definiteness of purpose is the cornerstone of every great achievement. It is the single, unwavering focus that separates those who drift aimlessly through life from those who carve their names into history. Napoleon Hill called it the starting point of all achievement. Without it, effort becomes scattered energy, and dreams dissolve into vague wishes. But with it, even the most daunting obstacles become stepping stones, because a clear purpose ignites an unshakable resolve. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, a man whose name is synonymous with invention and perseverance. He did not succeed by accident or luck. He had a definitive purpose to bring light to the world. Every failed experiment was a piece of that grand vision, not a defeat. When asked about his thousands of unsuccessful attempts, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That clarity of purpose transformed failure into fuel, driving him relentlessly forward. Without a definite goal, those attempts might have become excuses to quit. Psychologically, having a definiteness of purpose aligns your conscious and subconscious minds into a powerful partnership. Your conscious mind charts the course, but your subconscious is the engine that propels you through storms of doubt and distraction. When your purpose is vague or undefined, your subconscious receives mixed signals, resulting in hesitation and scattered effort. But when you commit to a single vivid goal, your subconscious locks on, filtering opportunities and resources that align with your vision. Think of your mind as a laser beam. Without definiteness of purpose, it scatters into a dull glow, unable to cut through obstacles. But with focus, it concentrates into an intense beam capable of burning through any resistance. This is why so many people, despite talent or resources, fail to reach their potential, because their purpose is diffuse or non-existent. They chase multiple goals, diluted by distraction, instead of zeroing in on the one that sets their soul on fire. Let me share the story of a young woman named Maya, lost in the maze of career options and endless what-ifs. She was talented but overwhelmed, drifting from job to job, never feeling fulfilled. One day she paused and asked herself, "What is my deepest desire? What legacy do I want to leave behind?" With that question, clarity dawned. Maya discovered her passion for helping others overcome trauma. She defined her purpose to become a healer and advocate. From that moment, her actions aligned with her vision. She pursued education, connected with mentors, and built a network that supported her growth. The power of definiteness of purpose transformed her scattered energy into unstoppable momentum. Emotionally, a definite purpose gives meaning to struggle and pain. When challenges arise, as they inevitably do, those with a clear purpose can endure and persevere because their why is stronger than their how. Purpose becomes the anchor in the storm, the light in the darkness. Without it, obstacles feel like dead ends. With it, they become necessary detours on the path to greatness. Now ask yourself, what is your definiteness of purpose? Is it a vague hope or a burning search? Are you willing to define your goal with such clarity that it consumes your every waking thought? Because only then can you summon the persistent, focused action that turns dreams into reality. Definite purpose does not guarantee ease, but it guarantees direction, and direction is everything. Napoleon Hill's timeless wisdom reminds us, a goal is a dream with a deadline. Don't let your dreams remain shadows. Define your purpose, embrace it fiercely, and watch how the universe conspires to bring it into being. Mastering your emotions is the silent force behind every great success story. It is the hidden power that determines whether you will be a prisoner to your circumstances or the architect of your destiny. Napoleon Hill understood this truth deeply when he said, "You can control your mental attitude at any given moment. Your emotions are not random storms to endure. They are signals, tools you can learn to wield. To master your emotions is to master your destiny itself." Look at Abraham Lincoln, a man who faced unparalleled adversity, personal losses, political betrayals, and national division. His life was a tempest of emotional trials, yet he cultivated an extraordinary ability to remain calm, focused, and resolute. Instead of succumbing to despair, Lincoln transformed his emotional pain into strength and wisdom. His mastery over fear, anger, and doubt allowed him to navigate the most turbulent moments in American history, ultimately reshaping the nation. He proves that emotional mastery is not a gift for the few, but a choice that anyone can make. Why does mastering emotions hold such power? Because emotions drive decisions and actions. When fear, anger, or doubt rule your mind, they cloud judgment, freeze progress, and breed inaction. But when you take control of your feelings, you clear a path for rational thought, creativity, and persistence. Psychological research confirms this. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and self-control, functions best when emotions are balanced. When overwhelmed by negative emotions, this region shuts down, making poor decisions inevitable. Mastery over emotions means regaining that control, choosing response over reaction. Consider the story of Maria, a woman burdened by the weight of anxiety and self-doubt. Every setback felt like a confirmation of failure. She was trapped in a cycle of panic and paralysis. One day, Maria made a decision. She would not let her emotions dictate her future. She began practicing awareness, noticing each fearful thought as it arose, but refusing to let it consume her. She replaced anxiety with deliberate actions, however small. Over time, her mind rewired, and her confidence grew. By mastering her emotions, Maria reclaimed her life and pursued her dreams with fierce determination. Emotionally, mastery means transforming pain into purpose. Life will test you relentlessly. Loss, betrayal, failure, they are inevitable. But these are not signs to give up. They are invitations to grow. Those who master their emotions see obstacles as temporary storms rather than permanent prison. They build resilience, the muscle that strengthens with each challenge faced calmly and courageously. This resilience is the foundation of lasting success. Ask yourself, when fear whispers that you cannot, do you listen or do you stand firm? When anger threatens to consume your peace, do you surrender or rise above? The moment you choose to master your emotions, you break free from the chains of victimhood and step into the role of creator. This is not about suppressing feelings, it is about understanding them, learning from them, and directing their energy toward your highest good. Napoleon Hill's timeless insight reminds us that the most common cause of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Emotional mastery prevents quitting. It fuels persistence and sharpens focus. It turns setbacks into setups for comebacks. Master your emotions, and you master your destiny. The power lies within you, not in external circumstances, but in the quiet command of your inner world. Choose today to harness this power, because the destiny you desire is waiting for the calm, controlled, unstoppable version of you to claim it. Surrounding yourself with mental allies is one of the most strategic moves you can make on the path to success. Napoleon Hill recognized this truth when he introduced the concept of the Mastermind group, an alliance of minds working harmoniously to elevate each other beyond what any individual could achieve alone. Your environment, especially the people who occupy it, shapes your mindset, your beliefs, and ultimately your destiny. You cannot soar with eagles if you choose to perch with pigeons. Consider the story of Henry Ford, a man who revolutionized the automobile industry and changed the course of history. Ford didn't act alone. He surrounded himself with innovators, engineers, and thinkers who challenged his ideas and fueled his vision. This network of mental allies sparked creativity, resilience, and determination. When Ford faced setbacks, it was his circle of like-minded allies who kept his spirit alive and his purpose clear. This is the power of the mastermind. Your success is amplified exponentially by the company you keep. Psychologically, the influence of your social environment runs deeper than mere inspiration. Research in social psychology shows that our brains naturally adapt to the attitudes and behaviors of those around us, a phenomenon called emotional contagion. When you spend time with people who think positively, act boldly, and pursue growth, your brain mirrors those traits, rewiring itself toward success. Conversely, toxic relationships filled with doubt, negativity, and fear reinforce limiting beliefs and stagnate progress. The choice of your mental allies is, therefore, not just social, it is neurological. Take the story of Anita, a young entrepreneur who started her business in isolation, struggling against self-doubt and limited resources. Her turning point came when she joined a mastermind group of ambitious, supportive peers. Suddenly, she was no longer alone in her journey. The group shared knowledge, held her accountable, and celebrated her wins. With each meeting, Anita's confidence grew. The combined energy and wisdom of her allies propelled her forward, turning obstacles into opportunities. Her story is a testament that success is not a solo act. It is a symphony conducted by collective strength. Emotionally, mental allies provide more than knowledge. They offer validation and encouragement when the road gets tough. When fear and discouragement loom large, it is the voices of your trusted allies that remind you of your worth and potential. They hold the mirror that reflects not just your current struggles, but your future triumphs. This emotional support fortifies your resilience and sharpens your focus. Now reflect on your circle. Who are your closest 5 people? Are they fueling your growth or feeding your doubt? Are they dreamers and doers or doubters and detractors? The company you keep either builds your castle or erodes its foundation. Napoleon Hill's wisdom cuts to the core. No 2 minds ever come together without thereby creating a third invisible intangible force, which may be likened to a third mind. This third mind, the mastermind, is a reservoir of power, inspiration, and momentum. It transforms isolated ambition into unstoppable movement. Choosing your mental allies is choosing your future. Guard your time and your mind carefully. Seek out those who challenge you, inspire you, and elevate your vision. Be willing to let go of those who drain your energy or plant seeds of doubt. Surround yourself with mental allies, and you surround yourself with success. Because no mountain is too high when climbed with the right companions. No dream too distant when fueled by collective will. The mastermind is not just a strategy, it is the engine that drives extraordinary achievement. Persistence is the hammer that breaks down the walls between you and your dreams. It is the relentless force that transforms impossibility into reality. Napoleon Hill famously declared, "Persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. Without it, the strongest desire or the clearest purpose will crumble under the first sign of resistance. But with persistence, even the tallest barriers become stepping stones." Look at the story of J.K. Rowling, a woman who faced rejection after rejection from publishers who failed to see the magic in her words. Living in poverty, struggling as a single mother, she could have easily surrendered to despair. But instead, she persisted. She believed in her story and in herself, refusing to let temporary defeat define her future. Today, her perseverance has touched millions worldwide. Rowling's journey proves that persistence is not about blind stubbornness. It is about unwavering faith in your vision, paired with the courage to keep moving forward when others give up. Psychologically, persistence rewires the mind for success. Every time you refuse to quit, you strengthen neural pathways associated with resilience, discipline, and problem solving. This mental muscle grows stronger with each challenge overcome. It trains your brain to seek solutions instead of excuses. Persistence is a mental habit, built by daily commitment to take action, regardless of fear, fatigue, or failure. Consider the example of Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC. At the age of 65, after a lifetime of setbacks, he started franchising his chicken recipe. His proposal was rejected over 1,000 times. Yet, his persistence never waned. Sanders understood that every no was not a door closed forever, but a signal to refine his approach and try again. His story teaches us that success often requires more attempts than most are willing to make, and those extra attempts are where victory is born. Emotionally, persistence is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It is easy to be inspired by a vision, but sustaining the effort through disappointment demands a depth of character few possess. Persistence keeps hope alive during the darkest hours. It whispers, "Keep going," when your mind screams, "Give up." It transforms pain into purpose and struggle into strength. Ask yourself, how many times have you given up just before your breakthrough? How many opportunities have slipped away because you mistook temporary failure for final defeat? The truth is, the most successful people have faced failures far worse than yours, but they chose persistence over surrender. Napoleon Hill's wisdom echoes through time. Most great people have achieved their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think. The wall you see today is not permanent. It is a challenge demanding your persistence. Persistence is not about perfection. It is about perseverance. It is about continuing even when progress seems invisible, when motivation fades, and when doubt creeps in. It is the quiet, daily commitment to move forward, one small step at a time, fueled by an unshakable belief in your purpose. So when you face obstacles, and you will, remember this: persistence is your most powerful weapon. Break down those walls with relentless effort. Refuse to quit. Because every moment you persist, you are reshaping your destiny, proving that no wall is too high, no challenge too great, and no dream too distant for the person who refuses to stop. Your subconscious mind is the unseen powerhouse that shapes every moment of your life, operating silently, without rest, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is the unseen architect of your destiny, constantly absorbing every thought, every word, every emotion you experience, whether you are aware of it or not. Napoleon Hill understood this invisible force better than most, emphasizing that your subconscious mind acts on the dominant thoughts you feed it, shaping your reality accordingly. It never sleeps, never judges, it simply obeys. This is why the battle for success is won or lost in the quiet moments inside your own mind. Think about it. Every belief, every fear, every hope you carry is lodged deep within your subconscious. If you harbor doubt or negativity, your subconscious accepts these as truths, steering you toward behaviors and decisions that confirm those beliefs. This is not magic or mysticism. It is hardwired psychology. Studies in neuroscience show that our brain forms neural pathways, connections strengthened by repetition. Your subconscious mind runs on these pathways, making habitual thoughts and beliefs automatic. What you repeat, you become. Consider the story of Michael, a man who struggled for years to break free from the chains of self-sabotage. Despite knowing what he needed to do to succeed, his inner voice constantly whispered, "You're not good enough. You'll never make it." Unaware, he fed his subconscious these destructive messages day and night. His actions followed suit: hesitation, fear, missed opportunities, until one day, Michael decided to fight back. He began consciously planting new seeds, affirmations of worth, visions of success, deliberate focus on positive outcomes. Over months, these new patterns rewired his subconscious, turning doubt into confidence, fear into courage. His life began to shift, because his subconscious finally heard a different story, one it was eager to obey. Psychologically, this means your conscious mind is like a driver, but your subconscious is the engine. The driver can steer, but the engine's power determines how far and fast the vehicle will go. If the engine is fueled by fear and limiting beliefs, no amount of steering will get you to your destination. But if it is powered by faith, purpose, and clarity, you become unstoppable. Your subconscious mind also governs your habits and instincts, automatic responses that conserve mental energy. It makes your behavior predictable, repeating patterns rooted in past experiences and emotions. This is why changing your life requires more than willpower. It requires reprogramming your subconscious. Napoleon Hill urged visualization and repetition because these tools speak directly to the subconscious language. When you vividly imagine your goals with feeling and conviction, you are instructing your subconscious to align your behavior with that vision. Emotionally, this truth holds both power and responsibility. You are the gatekeeper of your subconscious mind. It listens without pause, absorbing your fears, hopes, doubts, and dreams. When negative thoughts sneak in, it takes them as commands. When positive thoughts rule, it ignites determination and action. This silent listening shapes your habits, your decisions, your reality. Now ask yourself, what dominant thoughts have you been feeding your subconscious? Are they building the future you desire, or silently sabotaging it? The power to change your life lies in what you choose to repeat, in your conscious words, your mental images, your emotional focus. Remember, the subconscious mind is not your enemy. It is your most loyal servant, waiting for clear instructions. Speak to it with conviction. Feed it with clarity. Visualize your success until it becomes your automatic reality. Napoleon Hill's wisdom echoes. Your subconscious mind will translate into its physical equivalent by the most direct and practical method available. What you plant in your subconscious garden today will grow into the harvest of your tomorrow. Guard your thoughts fiercely, because your subconscious is listening, always. Failure is not the end. It is the foundation upon which every success is built. Napoleon Hill, the master of understanding human achievement, taught that failure is merely a stepping stone on the path to victory. It is not a wall to stop you, but a bridge to cross. The difference between those who succeed and those who falter is how they interpret and respond to failure. Does it break you, or does it build you? Think about Thomas Edison, whose name is synonymous with innovation and persistence. He failed thousands of times before inventing the electric light bulb, but he never saw those attempts as failures. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's mindset turned every setback into a lesson, every mistake into progress. This relentless reframing of failure was his secret weapon. It allowed him to persevere when others quit, proving that failure is not a dead end, but a detour guiding you towards success. Psychologically, failure triggers a primal response, fear, shame, and self-doubt, that can paralyze even the strongest minds. But it is also a powerful teacher. Neuroscience reveals that failure stimulates growth in the brain, strengthening neural pathways associated with learning and resilience. Every mistake rewires your brain for better problem solving. The key is your perception. Do you see failure as a judgment on your worth or as valuable feedback? Consider the story of Oprah Winfrey. Before becoming the global icon she is today, Oprah faced a childhood filled with hardship, poverty, and abuse. She was fired from her first television job, labeled unfit for TV. Many would have seen this as an insurmountable wall, but Oprah chose to see it as a stepping stone. She learned, adapted, and rose from every setback. Today, she stands as a testament to the power of transforming failure into fuel for greatness. Emotionally, failure can feel like a blow to your identity, but it doesn't have to define you. Those who succeed have developed a resilience that allows them to separate their sense of self from their setbacks. They understand that failure is a momentary event, not a permanent condition. It is a teacher, not a tyrant. This emotional resilience is cultivated by embracing failure as part of the journey, not an end to it. Ask yourself, when you fail, do you shrink back into fear, or do you rise with new wisdom? The people who change the world are those who have failed spectacularly, and then chosen to learn, grow, and try again. The wall you fear is often the illusion you build to protect yourself from discomfort. But on the other side of that wall lies growth, mastery, and victory. Napoleon Hill reminds us, most great people have achieved their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. Failure is the final test before triumph. It is the proving ground where character is forged. It sharpens your resolve and clarifies your vision. Without failure, success would lose its meaning. So when you encounter failure, do not turn away or despair. Instead, lean in, study it, extract its lessons, use it as the stepping stone that elevates you above those who quit. Because every failure contains the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Remember, failure is not a wall to keep you out. It is a stepping stone that leads you forward. The only real failure is the failure to rise again. Taking full responsibility for your life is the ultimate act of reclaiming your power. It is the profound realization that no external circumstance, no other person, and no fleeting event has the power to define you. Only your response does. Napoleon Hill taught that the moment you accept complete responsibility for your successes and failures, you step into the driver's seat of your destiny. This is the point where victimhood ends and mastery begins. Consider the story of Nelson Mandela, a man imprisoned for 27 years under unjust conditions. His life was stolen, his freedom stripped away, yet he refused to let his circumstances dictate his spirit or his future. Mandela took full responsibility for his thoughts and emotions behind bars. He chose forgiveness over bitterness, hope over despair. By owning his power internally, he transformed from prisoner to president, from victim to visionary. His example proves that external shackles cannot hold a mind determined to be free. Psychologically, the power of responsibility lies in its ability to shift your locus of control from external forces to internal agency. When you blame others or circumstances, you give away your power. Your ability to influence outcomes diminishes. Studies in psychology consistently show that individuals who embrace internal locus of control take proactive steps, persist through adversity, and achieve higher levels of success and satisfaction. Responsibility is the foundation of self-discipline and purposeful action. Let me tell you about Sarah, who grew up believing her life was shaped by bad luck and unfair breaks. She blamed her family, her environment, even the economy for her lack of progress. But at one moment of clarity, she realized that blaming others only chained her to frustration and stagnation. She made a conscious decision to own her life fully, her choices, her mistakes, and her future. This shift was not easy. It required courage to face uncomfortable truths. But with each choice she made intentionally, her confidence grew. Sarah's story teaches us that ownership of your life is the gateway to transformation. Emotionally, taking full responsibility demands vulnerability and honesty. It means admitting when you're wrong, confronting your fears, and acknowledging your role in your current state. But with this admission comes liberation. You no longer wait for permission, approval, or circumstances to change. You become the master of your fate. This emotional empowerment builds resilience, fuels motivation, and ignites relentless action. Ask yourself, are you blaming your failures on others, or are you owning your mistakes and learning from them? Do you wait for opportunities, or do you create them? The moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a creator, your world changes. Napoleon Hill said, "Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts." Responsibility is the soil where self-discipline grows. Without it, discipline is weak and fleeting. With it, discipline becomes a powerful force that shapes habits, decisions, and ultimately, your life. So stand up. Declare ownership of your life. Say aloud, I am responsible for my success. I create my reality. Feel the power that comes with this truth. It is yours, waiting for you to claim. Taking full responsibility is not about blame or guilt. It is about embracing your power to choose, to change, and to conquer. When you own your power, you own your destiny, and there is nothing more unstoppable than that.